This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you're watching Pulse of Africa. I am Tansai Gabel for the main news. First, our top stories for today. Botswana and Qatari firm signed $12 billion investment deal. Nigeria commits to building modern maritime sector. Senegal urges US to lift sanctions on 4 ICC officials. Now the news in detail. Nigeria's Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adigaboya Oyotola, said the federal government is committed to building a modern, safe, and globally competitive maritime sector. Speaking at a Nigerian Chamber of Shipping meeting, Oyotola said the Lekki Deep Seaport model, built on public-private partnership, logistics efficiency, and digital transformation, will be replicated nationwide. He noted that the maritime sector is central to Nigeria's economic growth, job creation, and regional integration. Oyotola highlighted Lekki Port's capacity of 1.2 million 20-foot equivalent units, job creation, and improved cargo flow as evidence of its transformative impact. The minister confirmed ongoing modernization of Appa and Tinkan Island ports and upgrades at eastern ports in One, Calabar, and River States. Senegal has called the U.S. to lift sanctions imposed on 4 International Criminal Court officials, including Senegalese Deputy Prosecutor Mame Mandaya Niang. The sanctions constitute a serious violation of principle of judicial independence and undermine ICC judges' right to freely and peacefully carry out their mandate, Senegalese Foreign Ministry said on a statement on Thursday. Senegal, the first country to ratify the Rome Statute, expressed full solidarity with Niang and other sanctioned ICC officials, reaffirming its unwavering support for the court and its role in international criminal justice. Senegal urged other signatories to Rome Statute to reaffirm their solidarity for the ICC and step up efforts to ensure its judges and staff can operate independently without threats or restrictions. The Uganda People's Defense Forces and the South Sudan People's Defense Forces have reaffirmed their commitment to working together in addressing recent security incidents along the shared border. This was during a high-level meeting held at the Defense and Intelligence Headquarters in Buya, co-chaired by the UPDF Commander Land Force, Lieutenant General Kayanja Muhanga, and the SSPD Chief of Defense Forces, General Dao Archungo Nayulo. The meeting followed an invitation from Uganda's Chief of Defense Forces, General Mahuzi Kainerugaba, to his South Sudanese counterpart after his recent visit to Juba, where he met President Salva Kiir. Discussions focused on strengthening cooperation and security measures along the Uganda and South Sudan border. Seychelles on Thursday began its presidential election campaign with incumbent Wavel Rakamalan taking on opposition leader Patrick Harmini. 8 candidates were contesting the vote, which will take place from September 25 to 27, according to the country's electoral commission. Ram Kalawan from the Seychelles Democratic Alliance is seeking a second term. Before his win in 2020, the Anglican priest lost the 2015 contest by just 196 votes. In other news, Russian President Vladimir Putin met India's External Affairs Minister Subrahmanyam Jashankara at the Kremlin in Moscow. Earlier in the day, top diplomat Jashankara met with Lavrov, which comes amid a U.S. threat of additional 20% tariffs on India, including on Russian oil. Following the talks, Lavrov and Jashankara announced that Putin may visit India before the end of the year. This is the second time in 2 weeks that the Indian official has flown to Moscow to meet with Putin, as last week the Russian president hosted Indian National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Soaring numbers of tourists expanding research projects and are increasingly polluting Antarctica, scientists warned. Areas with human presence now have 10 times more heavily metal particles than 40 years ago, mainly from ships burning dirty fossil fuels. That change has come as the number of annual tourists visiting the White Continent has risen from 20,000 to 120,000 over the last 2 decades, according to the International Association of Antarctica Tour Operators. Pollutants accelerate snowmelt, with a single tourist linked to melting 100 tons of snow, researchers said. Scientific stations also add significant impact. While bans on heavy fuel oil and hybrid ships mark progress, scientists urge faster adoption of renewables to protect the fragile ecosystem.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. All the time, Pulse of Africa. The face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. Botswana has signed a $12 billion investment agreement with Qatar's Mansour Holdings to boost national development. The deal announced by President Duma Boko covers infrastructure, energy, mining, diamonds, agriculture, tourism, cybersecurity, and defense. Boko said the deal will be enough to address immediate challenges facing the country in light of the current downturn being experienced in the diamond industry. Al Mansour Holdings, owned by Sheikh Mansour bin Jabor bin Jassim Al Thani, recently signed a $19 billion cooperation with Zambia. The US and EU agreed on a joint statement for establishing a framework for fair, balanced, and mutually beneficial transatlantic trade and investment, the White House announced. The joint statement issued Thursday represents progress. The preliminary agreement announced a month ago, which includes specific EU standards for ensuring tariff reductions in certain sectors. The sectors encompass cars, pharmaceuticals, and semiconductors, along with new commitments to address the EU's digital service regulations. This comes after US President Donald Trump hailed the comprehensive trade framework he reached with the EU, calling it an important deal. Brussels and Washington finally reached an agreement in late July, imposing a 15% tariff on EU exports to the United States. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today, and thanks for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.